What up? It's your boy Wall Street. And today, the news broke that Taylor Jenkins has been fired by the Memphis Grizzlies and will no longer be the head coach of the team. And they are just 9 games away from the postseason starting. And this is pretty wild to me because the Grizzlies are a good team. They are not as good as they once were several years back. Obviously, last year, they were severely injured. Ja Morant was out, only played 9 games due to the suspension and the shoulder surgery. Jaren Jackson Jr. missed a ton of games. You know, I could go down the list. Pretty much every person on that team was missing games last year. So they got a top 10 pick. They got the number 9 overall pick in Zach Edey. And everyone thought, okay, this team's going to be back, right? And despite them being somewhat inconsistent, you know, they've been very strong in the playoff race for the entire season, right? The West is just a difficult place to really get a high playoff seed. It's very difficult, and there's typically very, very few games separating records for the top 6 seeds. That's what we've seen the last couple of years at least. And even down to the play-in, right? Like I would say all the way through the 8 seed, it's pretty close. Right, like the 8 seed Minnesota Timberwolves are 41-32. Then you have the 2 seed Rockets at 48-26. That's a separation of 6.5 games, right? Whereas in the East, the separation from 2 to 8 is 20 games. That's the difference between the Boston Celtics and the Orlando Magic. So there's a lot more competition in the Western Conference, obviously. But Taylor Jenkins, to me, has always been a good coach. And I think this is more of an instance of they just need a new voice in the locker room. And by getting a new voice in the locker room, hopefully it will allow them to, succeed at a higher level. I don't know. Again, they've just been inconsistent. I think since the end of February, they've been like 6-9. So, they go on winning streaks, then they go on losing streaks, and, it's very, very inconsistent. And I think a new voice will do them justice. But the fact that they're making this move right before the playoffs start, to me, it's like you're waving the white flag. Like you're just putting your hands up and surrendering. Like, I don't really understand why you would do this right now. If they were going to get rid of him in the offseason, that's a totally different thing. And I, frankly, would not have too much to disagree with there, just because, again, it's not that he's a bad coach, but I think a lot of teams can benefit from having a change in voice, right? Having a change in leadership. And the easiest way to do that most of the time is changing your head coach. It seems like this is just very poor timing. The only other time that I really remember something like this happening is I think it was like the Knicks when Carmelo was still on the team, like 2011 or 2012, and Mike D'Antoni resigned right before the playoffs started, but that was different. I mean, maybe he resigned because it was just like they were mutually parting ways, but I don't know. It seems pretty odd to me that this is happening right now. And Taylor Jenkins gets votes for coach of the year almost every single year. I think he was runner-up a few years back. But the assistant coach Tuomas Lasalo, who is Finnish, he's going to be the interim head coach while they figure out who they're going to go with in the future. Maybe they just stay with him permanently. Who knows? But at least they're not bringing in a totally new voice as they go into the playoffs. I think that's somewhat beneficial. But it's just weird to me. I just don't understand why they would fire him right now, right? And obviously maybe they couldn't really gauge if they were going to have problems last year because everyone was injured. They didn't really have a healthy team. They didn't really know how things were going to go. And frankly, there's still been a lot of injuries this year. Ja Morant's only played 43 games. And he's 43 games, 30 minutes a game, 22.3 points per game. So he's not playing at his highest level right now, in my opinion. And the stats are saying that too. So I don't know what it's going to take to get this team back up to where they need to be. But Maybe a coaching change is what they need. I just think the fact that they're doing this right now, it's signaling to me that they're probably not going to make a deep playoff run. They're probably going to finish in the 5 spot where they are right now. They're going to play the Lakers in the first round. They're going to lose. Like that to me is what is going to happen. But I don't know. Maybe I'm going to get it wrong. Who knows? But it just, when you change something like this, something this major, a guy that's been coaching this team for 6 years, and you change this 9 games before the playoffs start, I don't see them winning a championship after that, just honestly, because this is signaling to me that there's a bigger problem and we just don't know about it yet. But we'll see what happens. But I just wanted to talk about that because I got that notification today and I was like, what? I was like, I could have seen this coming, later on, but like right now, I could have thought like, okay, they go in the playoffs, they have a first round exit. Okay, Taylor Jenkins is out, right? But doing it right now, I'm just like, doesn't make a lot of sense to me, man. Does not make a lot of sense to me. But like I said, sometimes you just need a new voice. Maybe this Tuomas guy will be that new voice for them, even though he's kind of an old new voice. Like he's already been there, so he just hasn't been the head coach. He's been an assistant. So we'll see what happens, man. But if the playoffs were to start today and it was a Grizzlies-Lakers first-round matchup, I think that's going to be a very interesting series. I would love to see John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. square up against LeBron and Luka. That would be an awesome matchup. I do think the Lakers would still win that matchup, though. But I'm excited for the playoffs, man. It's going to be a fun couple of months once the playoffs start. So let me know what you guys think, though, about this Taylor Jenkins firing situation. Want to know your thoughts. Want to know what you think about the Grizzlies and what they're going to do going forward. What do you think is the best move for them going forward? Do you think they should bring in a new head coach come next season? Or should they rock with this assistant that they're putting in Taylor Jenkins' place right now? Let me know your thoughts. I'm going to catch you later. Stay safe, handle business, stand on business. Peace out.